Welcome to Starving Artist Courses, your all-in-one online music education resource. My name is Cristian, and this is week 4 of Ed Sheeran's Photograph. This week, we're going to go ahead and go into the lead section of this part, the most popular part of the song, the intro acoustic. This part is going to be the hardest part out of all 4 weeks of this. Week 1, again, we learned the verse. Week 2, we learned our pre-chorus. And week 3, we learned our chorus. Now, this part in particular is not going to have any kind of palm muting. It's not going to have any chords. It's actually going to be a lot of finger picking. It's going to take a lot of dexterity. So make sure that you guys are going to be pausing this video, study the video, make sure that you're using other resources from our website. Make sure that you're looking at our other videos that we took before this to make sure that today that you can be as successful as you can with looking at this material. Now, to start off, this is the very beginning of the song. And we left this last because it's the most difficult part of the song. So before I get into anything that I'm doing with my right hand, I want to show you what I'm doing with my left hand. I'm going to go ahead and play the whole intro one time through, then I'm going to break down what I'm doing. And that's just the intro. From there, he does a nice pause, and then he goes right into the verse, which is what we actually learned in week 1. All right, guys, so before we get started, a couple things that need to get known right away before we start to learn how to play that part. One is we're in a completely different tuning. Normally, standard tuning is going to be E, A, D, G, B, and E. We had that tuning, and we used capo 4 in weeks 1, 2, and 3. Now, for this week, and this part, if you want to play this part, you have to do the specific tuning. Now this tuning is going to be D, A, D, G flat, A, and D. If you notice you strum it all together, it sounds like a D major chord. This is open D tuning. Now again, it's going to be D, A, D, G flat, A, and D. Once you have your tuning set and make sure you guys are in tune, grab your capo. We're going to place it on the 2nd fret, so we're going to be in capo 2. From here, before we go into our right hand, we're going to just stick with our left. I'm starting off the song with my pinky on the 4th fret of the B string. Now, I'm playing a lot of other notes before I actually hit this specific note, but this is my starting position when I'm getting ready to play. So throughout the song, you're going to notice that on the right hand, I'm doing the same pattern when I'm picking. But what makes the notes change, or what makes it sound the way it sounds, is what I'm doing with my left hand, the transitions, the different notes I'm playing. My fingers are going different places on the fretboard, right? To start off, I'm using my pinky on the 3rd fret B string, and it's going to sound like this. That's the first part. Now, if you were watching my left hand, which you should only be watching my left hand, you notice I keep my pinky here until I do something like this, which is called the pull-off. Now, from here, I'm going. So my left hand, it's all play of the note and pull it off of the note. I want to be able to hear the note while I pull it off. That's why it's called a pull-off. So I'm going to go. It may sound tedious, but that's exactly what we want to hear. Because every chord transition, if you're listening, Ed Sheeran plays a pull-off, at least one. He goes, does it again, and then goes to another chord, another pull-off, another chord down, and another pull-off, to the last chord, to the last pull-off, just like that. Now again, from that whole time, you're going to notice my left hand isn't moving too much. It's actually doing a pattern. I have my pinky here, and then I do my pull-off. So, that's the first chord, and you're going to play it twice. From there, the next chord change, we're going to grab our first index finger. We're going to place it on the 2nd fret of our A string. Now again, this is our 2nd chord, right? So while we're playing this riff, we're playing 2 riffs, 2 arpeggios, 2 little parts like this. Once, this is the 2nd time. Now we're going to do another one of that, but with the next chord, which is going to be right here. we got our first finger, 2nd fret A string. Then we're going to grab our pinky again, and it's going to be on the same place as the first time. 4th fret, B string. From here, it's going to sound like this. Now again, we're still doing that pull-off. The pull-off is not going to change, and we're still going to play it twice before going to the next chord progression. Now we're going to put those two chords together. So how it would sound in the song if we do those two shapes would be like this. Real simple. Make sure that you guys are constantly practicing and don't try to get all 4 down right away. Just work on these two. These two, once you nail them, then you can move on to the next chord, which is going to be an open A string now, right? So it's going to be similar to the first two because you're still going to have your pinky on that 4th fret B string, except you're not going to be plucking the E string like the first chord. You're going to be playing an open A string. So it would sound like this. And if we want to put all 3 together, it'll sound like this. Which then leads us to our last shape, which sounds like this. That shape specifically is going to be 5th fret, middle finger, and then index finger, 4th fret B string. The same note that we've been playing consistently in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and our last shape right here. Except this time we're not using our pinky to do it, we're using our index fingers to do it. So if we put all 4 together, it's going to sound like this. So next, now that we've already gone over our left hand, we're going to make the magic happen with our right hand. So before we play any notes and hold down any notes with our left hand, go ahead and cover your fretboard just like this. We're going to focus on the right hand. Now before we get into our fingers, you know, this is our thumb, this is our index finger, this is our middle finger, and this is our ring finger. We all know those terms. But in guitar terms, and music notation especially, we're going to refer to our thumb as P. We're going to refer to our index finger as I, and then our middle finger as M. Our ring finger is actually A, but we don't use A in this song, so I'm not going to refer to it all. Again, we're going to use P, thumb, I, index finger, and M, middle finger. So to start, cover your fretboard. We're going to go down to here. If you need to, and I would actually recommend this, look at your guitar and look at your fingers and look at your strings. You want to get a feel of where your fingers are on the guitar, because the more that you play, the less that you're going to have to keep looking down here to make sure that you're playing the right things. So to start off, we're going to actually go back to that first chord progression. Remember, we have our pinky on our 4th fret B string. That's all that shape is. What makes it sound the way it does is what our right hand is doing. We start off with P playing that open E string, right? From there, we use our middle finger to pluck the high E string. After we pluck the high E string with our middle finger, we pluck the B string with our index finger. So it's going to sound like this. One more time. Now after I pluck that B string with my index finger, I'm actually going to pluck the high string again with my middle finger, which is M. So it's going to sound like this. Real simple. So now that we learned the first part, we're going to connect that with the pull-off that comes up. So again, we're here, we're going to go P, I, M, P and I, M at the same time. Then from there we go index finger, open B string. And then middle finger, G string, 1st fret, pull off. So all together it's. But if you're reciting your right hand, you're going P, M, I, P and M at the same time, I, M, pull off. And the whole time I did that and I didn't look at my guitar once. That's because you really want to repeat that and repeat that and repeat that. Again, it's P, M, I, P and M at the same time, I, M, pull off. What you just did with your right hand, you're going to repeat that exactly the same for the next 3 chord progressions. Now what makes your success happen is if you can make those chord changes. So again, that first chord change like we did before was here. Then we put our index finger on top of our A string 2nd fret. From there we let it go again to play an open A. Then to finish off, to come down to our 5th fret using our middle finger, E string, back to our 4th fret B string with our index finger. So it's all about the right hand pattern. So if you can nail the chord progressions with your left hand and you could keep the pattern steady, you can make it sound together. So how it sounds all together, me doing what I'm doing with my right and with my left, is going to sound like this. Now for your homework, guys, all I want you to do is I want you to watch this video not once, not twice. I want you to watch it multiple times because you're not going to get this on your first try. I want you to get a metronome and I don't want you to go at 80. I want you to go at 40 or even 50. I want you to really slow it down and I want you to get the chord change right and I want you to get your finger pattern right. So start off at 50 beats or even 40 beats per minute. Rewatch the video multiple times and get that lead part down. As you start to practice, you're going to notice that you're getting better at it. You want to increase that beat per minute. You want to eventually get to 108. But for your homework today, all I want you guys to do is just work on playing that lead part as best as you can using a metronome. If you're having trouble just getting the right hand down, then work on the right hand. And then once you have both down, try to synchronize them, but always make sure you use the metronome, guys. Also, guys, if you feel like you're having trouble at home practicing, go on our website. We have a newsletter and an awesome PDF called Finding Your Rhythm that can really help boost your practice time. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. Stay tuned because next month we're going to learn a brand new song and it's going to be in the same format as this month. Stay tuned and we'll see you next month.